My tone-deaf mother-in-law keeps pressuring my wife and I to try for another baby after our miscarriage, so I finally had to draw the line. From the moment we shared the news of our loss, my mother-in-law has been pushing for us to move on and try again soon. It's like she's completely disregarded our grief. She's always been a bit overbearing, but this crossed a line. At first, it was the little comments. It's so important to have siblings close in age, or you can't give up after just one miscarriage. She'd even go so far as to say things like, "I'm sure you'll have better luck this time," as if it were as simple as trying again and everything would magically work out. I tried brushing it off, thinking maybe she didn't realize how insensitive she sounded. But then right in front of us at a family dinner, she said you should start trying again this weekend. You can't waste time. The entire table fell silent. My wife looked like she was about to cry and I could feel my blood boiling. This was not just an ignorant comment, but also an invasion of our emotional space. We hadn't even processed what had happened, and here she was, trying to push us into a future we weren't ready for. The tension was unbearable. I'd been trying to be patient for my wife's sake, but watching her get so visibly upset each time her mother made these comments was breaking me. It felt like mother-in-law was turning something deeply personal and painful into a one-size-fits-all solution that she somehow believed was just helpful advice. Every conversation felt like we were being suffocated by her expectations. My wife was caught in the middle and she didn't want to upset her mom, but I could see her eyes glossing over every time the subject came up. I knew this was hurting her more than she let on. Finally, at a family gathering, mother-in-law crossed the line one too many times. She leaned in, with that overly bright smile, and asked, "Have you guys tried yet? Don't you want to get pregnant before it's too late?" The entire room held its breath. My wife froze, her face pale, and I saw the look of exhaustion in her eyes. That was when I knew I had to say something. With my heart pounding, looking directly at her, I said, "Enough." My voice is firm but controlled. "This is not something you get to decide for us. We're still grieving. We'll have another child when we're ready." The room went silent. My wife was in shock, but I could see a small flicker of relief in her eyes. Mother-in-law, stunned, sat back and didn't say another word for the rest of the night. The tension hung in the air as we left the gathering, but it felt like a weight had been lifted. My wife thanked me for stepping in, but I could tell she was still processing everything. She was grateful, but it wasn't easy for her to confront her mom. In the following days, mother-in-law reached out to apologize, but her message felt hollow, almost like she still didn't fully understand the gravity of the situation. She tried to act like nothing happened, but the damage was done. From that point forward, I made it clear that if she ever tried to bring it up again, I wouldn't hesitate to step in and shut it down. Slowly, the pressure from her started to ease off. She realized I meant business. The resolution wasn't just in setting boundaries, it was in reclaiming control over our own healing process. My wife and I finally found peace in knowing that, for the first time in a long while, we were the ones calling the shots. And if mother-in-law couldn't respect that, we were ready to distance ourselves even further.